Welcome to Hiner Outdoor Living. We're a team of yardists taking boring, cookie-cutter yards and transforming them into one-of-a-kind backyard retreats. Join us as we bring quality, passion, and fun to yards all across the Colorado Front Range, inspiring life outside.
How's it going, everybody? Today we are doing a water feature clean out, and we got all of our products here. What it enables us to do is help us to get this water feature cleaned out in the best way possible. As you can see behind me, there are two collapsible tanks. They each hold 500 gallons. And the importance of having the tanks is to try to save as much of this pond water as possible, because that pond water is crystal clear. It's filled with a bunch of bacteria and enzymes, and there are fish in this pond. So we want to try to save as much of that water as possible to help acclimate them back into their ecosystem. And as you can see in this pond, there's a lot of algae, there's a lot of growth, debris, waste at that bottom. And what we do with these water features and the cleanings is mimic nature. As the snow melts in the spring from the mountains, it takes that snow melt, rinses all the rivers down, gets all the sediments out, but keeps that water the same. And that's exactly what we're doing here, is we're saving all this water, mimicking nature by pressure washing all that algae, all that growth, all that organic debris, getting it out of there and acclimating the water back to start the season off on a right start for this water feature. Pumps, use the water, and we start at the top shelf, try to get a lot of that sediment out of there, and we also pressure wash all the algae off the rocks, and then move down into the pond. And that way we get everything, all the sediments down there that we can then pump out and get out of here. So again, start up to the top, get all the leaves, the debris, algae out of there, down to the bottom, and pump it out. So now that the biofalls is clean, we're gonna put it back together, get the cage, the filter mats, and go and get that rock cage back up underneath the lip, and then we'll go and get that covered up and probably add some plants as well later in the season. Years ago. Well, actually, when did COVID happen? Have a fish cave, and it goes back about 3 feet. Fish hang out here a lot, use the bathroom there, and in return makes it really dirty. So we need to make sure to spend a little extra time to rinse down these rocks and get all that sediment and fish waste out of this fish cave area so they have a clean home when they get back in. Doing a full drain and clean on a water feature like this, it's good to do it at least once a year. We do have some clients that are really particular and really want it clean throughout the whole season, and we will do it in the spring and in the fall for them sometimes. The main purpose of doing it either in the spring or the fall is to help acclimate the fish. Just because in the heat of the season, it makes that water temperature really hot and then the tap water is cold. So ideally you want to do this clean out once a year, preferably in spring, but if you really want it cleaned throughout the entire year, then you can do it also in the fall.
Automatically doses whatever the pond size is. So 500 gallons last 166 days, all the way up to 5,000 gallons, only last 16 days. But it just doses automatically every day. So the homeowner doesn't really have to worry about it. They just make sure it's got a bag of chemicals in there and it takes care of it. So maintenance comes here, they just will open this and see if this still has anything in it. And then when it runs out, just plop it in.
Commencing the work and getting the pond clean, it's a great time to just check the nuts and bolts of this water feature. Kind of like on this one, we added the lights. Also, it's a great time to inspect the pumps if they're near the end of the lifetime or not working. It's a perfect time to replace the pumps, check the plumbing, and make sure that everything is running up to par. Other things that you can add while doing these cleanouts are automated devices like a string algae eliminator or an IV drip for water treatments, which you have to replace less seldomly, and it adds water treatments a little bit more consistently. This pond has jets, but if a pond didn't, it would also be a great time to look into that and talk about adding some jets or an aeration system. This pond also has an aeration, so what we did is we made sure that that was working properly and cleaning well, but if it didn't, then you can always add aeration. It's just, again, a great time to let the clients know what they have, some enhancements that can be made, and things that need to be done. Also a great time to explain what to do now that we're gone. What do you do after the water feature is complete? Well, it's really good to keep it clean. So whether you have a skimmer or an intake bay, it's good to keep all the leaves and the debris that float on the top of the surface out of there as much as possible. Some great water treatments to add for water features is like beneficial bacteria. And on occasion, some people like to add a little bit of algicide. I always choose to do that as preventative. But you can also use that automatic dosing system, which we showed you a little bit earlier in the video, that adds it slowly and more consistently to help keep the water treatment steady. So we got the water feature drained, power washed, rinsed down. We are now acclimating the fish with the water that was previously stored, and we are going to leave the hose on for the homeowner to turn off when it gets filled, and then just have them plug in the pipes. Right now you can see it's a little dirty and a little murky, and that's completely normal because in 2 days it'll settle out and it'll be crystal clear and the pond will be all nice and clean and ready for the season.